Welcome to In Pursuit of Truth. This is your host, Sir Patrick Mack. We're back once again, and I got a few quick things that I want to talk at you about today. I want to talk a little bit about the election recounts. I want to talk a little bit about some strange behavior that some of us have noticed over there on Twitter, and I want to talk about this mysterious raid in Germany where they found some sketchy servers. Something I think you'll all find interesting, whether you're black or white.
So, grab your coffee, fist bump your neighbors, stretch your hamstrings, and shimon!
First things first, I want to start you off with an interview from the Howard Carr Show where he is talking to lawyer L. Lynn Wood, who is making very clear that he does not work directly for the Trump team or for the Republican Party in the state of Georgia. But the topic of this raid that I was talking about comes up, and this was the tweet that started it all. It actually came from a German tweet and then got translated here. People on the ground in #Germany report that Seitel hosting your elections data improperly through Spain was raided by a large U.S. Army force, and their servers were seized in Frankfurt. Seitel bankrupt report in any further detail you find to AOE, and this was retweeted by Alpha Omega Energy. So later, this got mentioned by Representative Louis Gohmert, and then, of course, there were publications that came out saying that this was not good information, this was disinformation. I'm sure you know how that all works. But then later, this got confirmed by attorney Sidney Powell, who said that she wasn't sure if the good guys or the bad guys got the information, and there were a couple of chuckles all the way around. Well, this topic gets brought up in the interview, and I want you to hear what Wood has to say about it.
So do you know anything about this raid that was supposedly conducted by the American military in Europe? Now, we originally heard they were, Louis Gohmert, the congressman from Texas, said he thought they were raiding a private company. Now we're hearing that they may have raided a CIA facility, that the CIA may have been involved in this. Do you know anything about this?
Well, I do know some things about it, but there's some conflicting information. What I think is accurate is that the raid was conducted on a Seitel facility. Seitel, that's capital S-C-Y-T-L, and it may have related to servers that are stored at that facility. I don't know whether the good guys got that information or the bad guys. So I'm not in a position to say, but I do believe that the servers that were located there would contain significant information that would prove in some of the elements of the fraud that was conducted, which Seitel was part of.
Do you think Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani have the smoking gun, for lack of a better term, that's going to get these results turned around?
To be accurate, I'll say I'm confident they have the smoking guns, so I'm saying it in the plural. I've seen sworn affidavits. I've seen sworn video statements. I think that Sidney and Rudy have done a magnificent job in a short period of time of piecing together a solid legal case on what was intended to be a complicated scheme of fraud as it relates to the voting machines. But when you boil it down, it simply amounts to the fact that the United States of America was relying on voting machines that were subject to manipulation. We might want to go back to the days where we fill in a hand ballot, sign it, let people count it. Because when you open the door to these types of computers, you're opening the door for people to manipulate, to hack, and to defraud people. And that's exactly what was done here. There's no doubt in my mind about it. It started in Venezuela. It connects into Cuba. It connects into Frankfurt, Germany, where servers were stored, in Barcelona. And it tracks back ultimately to a company known as SGO Smartmatic. They developed the software. That software went into a number of voting machines, almost exclusively used in the Dominion machine. The information was then processed through Seitel. That's where the manipulations occurred in the software that was reported out to a company called Clarity. Clarity was providing real-time numbers for people watching it on TV. That's why people saw 560 votes for a Republican all of a sudden go down 560,
right.
560 up for the Democrat. It was pure and simple computer manipulation of the voting totals.
Okay, so I got a few comments on this so far. As you can see, right off the bat, we have not only red flags, but we've got like massive explodey type red flags. We got like James Cameron film opening robot dinosaurs from outer space and way too much CGI and flash graphics kind of red flags going on here. And we've talked a bit about Dominion. We've talked a bit about Smartmatic. But as you can see, this started out with servers in foreign countries. So we're starting off the movie with the explosions, no time to warm it up, time to, that's why you show up with your coffee hot and the hamstrings warmed up. This is why right here, because right off the bat, foreign interference in our elections. And this was going through the Dominion machines, and then this was being processed by this company, Cytel, innovating democracy. Translation, changing votes. But what I don't hear a lot of discussion on is this company known as Clarity. So let's get a little clarity. And here we are at Clarity Campaign Labs, forging a clear path to victory. Clarity Campaign Labs guides progressive campaigns and organizations on a path to victory through customized polling. Let me say that again. Customized polling. Look, polling is about as simple as you just check this or you check this. How do you customize that? How do you customize that? It's been the same for a really long time. Analytics and a strategy solutions. So if you're at your local VFW or whatever, high school gym, and I walk in and I'm like, hi, I'm Sir Patrick Mack from Clarity Campaign Labs, and I want to customize pollings because your high school gym's a lot different than the one in Waukegan. Look, it's a high school gym. It's a VFW. We know what it looks like. We don't need customized polling. But let's move on, shall we? What do you do, Clarity? What we do at Clarity, we believe that tailored data and analytics strategy. Wait a minute. Let me say that again. Tailored data. There it is again. It's like custom polling, tailored data. Well, let me tell you this. If you go in and you get yourself a suit, a tailored suit, what's another way of saying tailored suit? You go to get it altered. And analytics strategies grounded in real-world application give our clients the advantage they need. That's what we're looking for right there. There's the truth in the statement. The advantage they need to understand whose opinions and behaviors they can change. Yeah, so they want to change opinions and behaviors and what they need to do to win. We partner with democratic political campaigns, progressive organizations, and socially responsible causes to provide. So there's the virtue signaling right there. And then you get some little graphics right here. This is a botnet chain, and here's some talky talk. And this guy's right here, he's changing his opinion, I guess. Now he's changing his opinion. Tried and true custom tools to gauge standing and a path forward. Polling, reaching the right people, the right way to ask the right questions. Translation, reaching the left people, the left way to ask the left questions. And they're using multiple sources of information to craft goals and achievements. All right, that just sounds like hippie crap or whatever. Let's check this out. From confusion to clarity. Data can feel overwhelming. Sure can. It can leave you feeling confused about what to collect and how to use it. Yeah, dummy. You don't know how to use data. We do. That's why we've got Susan Wojcicki over here. We got Jack Dorsey over here. We got Mark Zuckerberg over here. We'll take your data because you dummies don't know how to handle it. How to use it to gain an advantage for your campaign or issue. Further, your opponents are well-funded and seem to keep gaining traction. You deserve to have the best information to feel clear in making smart decisions. Okay, so I'm picking apart the semantics here and I'm being a little cheeky, but it's true, though. Best information? No, we want the correct information. That's what you want. You want correct information, all right? There's a tidal wave, all right? Mike says there's a tidal wave, but Gary said it better. With Clarity's decades of campaign experience and unmatched ability to use data and analytics to win close races and solve big problems, we innovate and continuously improve to understand not just where people are, but where we can move them. Where are you going to move us? Are you going to move us to an internment camp? Where are you moving us? Well, ladies and gentlemen, if that weren't sketchy enough, let me show you some of their clients. The CCC, the Democratic Party, Democratic Governors of Association, Planned Parenthood. Do I need to even read on? I'm going to read on. Every town for our gun safety. We're not going to go through them all here, but you see over here in the third row, Kamala Harris for the people. Climate action campaign. You can see them right there. It's a whole hot mess of Democratic slush funderies and tax dollar ripoffs. And the reason why I think this is so important is because this is the final part in the chain. This is the part that's actually reporting out to the people. These are the people that are actually forging the lies. And look at who they're working for. Kamala Harris for the people. Last I checked, Kamala Harris had some skin in this game. You see what I did there? Because it's a family show. Okay, so look, boys and girls, I'm no genius, but I'm smart enough to know that most of my viewers already thoroughly understand that there's some massive election meddling going on. But we see this chain from foreign countries to the machine, to the processing of the information, to the reporting of it, which is directly related to one of the people that was involved in the campaign itself. I'm not okay with that. We don't need all these middlemen when it comes to polling. And every time I listen to a polling expert, and granted, Lin Wood is no polling expert, but when you do listen to them, most of them say the same thing. Going back to paper ballots. That doesn't mean that there can't be security with that, watermarking or all kinds of, there is technology that we can use when it comes to this voting system. But it seems like we're getting this push for more high-tech, quote-unquote, solutions. And what we really get are more problems. We have less solutions. All this high tech, we have less solutions. We are weeks into this now, and all we have are more problems. So I guess your little customized data tailoring platform sucks. No offense. But seeing as we have involvement with multiple countries, we've got worldwide implications. And I think we've yet to see how truly massive that may be. But I want to point out something else that I thought got glossed over towards the end of the interview. Check out what Mr. Wood has to say.
In America, we have the right to vote. We have the right to have our vote counted. And we do not have to tolerate people manipulating and putting in a fraudulent election simply because of their agenda. And that's what happened here. It's not the first time. They did it in 2018. They did it in 2016. There's information to believe that Obama and Biden did it in 2012 in Florida. This is a scheme developed initially in Venezuela. And the scheme amounts to being able to go and buy an election in any given country. They did it in Argentina. They've done it in Chile. Now they've sold it to someone with the interest in manipulating the presidency of the United States. The evidence will eventually show who was ultimately responsible. But I think it's a combination of bad actors. I think it's people that want our country to be socialistic, to move to communistic. I'd look at China. I'd look at George Soros. I'd look at the globalists and the military-industrial complex.
How soon is this all going to come? When's the Kraken going to be released, as Sidney Powell calls it?
He's gone.
Oh, he's done. Okay.
Okay, so if this is indeed all true, this is going to affect multiple countries, which it looks like it already has. It looks like it's going to affect multiple elections. And like Mr. Wood said, this seems to go back to 2016 and even back to 2012. So once again, we have the involvement of the Obama administration. Now, is this going to affect the Obama presidency? It's really hard to say at this moment, but this looks indeed huge. Now, I want to take you through this little thread here from Rex at social.quoteverum.com. And Rex starts off talking about Sidney Powell. Number one, it is now becoming clear what Sidney Powell's focus is. Remember, Powell is likely unable to reveal all, even if she wants to. She is a lawyer acting on client instructions. Yeah, that's something that Tucker Carlson needs to learn. Not just that, I suspect that the evidence she has access to is classified at the highest level. But we know that Powell has seen evidence that has stunned her, perhaps even frightened her. It's obvious by her demeanor and speech. Powell is trying her best to give us more information. I have been concerned that Powell's main piece of evidence is an affidavit from a Chavez senior military officer. Powell keeps referring to it as smoking hot. My opinion has been, it's interesting, sure, but if that's all she has, it doesn't prove anything in 2020. Why is Sidney going on and on about it? The tweet above answers my question. I think Powell is indicating that combined with other evidence, the affidavit becomes red hot. What other evidence? Check out Powell's tweet. Unfortunately, I cannot pull that tweet up for you because I'm blocked from Twitter, and now it looks like even Sidney Powell is blocked from Twitter for the next 12 hours. That's okay. We'll still get the idea. Let's move on. Powell refers to Title 50 for the first time. Title 50 is a sprawling piece of legislation defining what POTUS can and can't do when the U.S. is at war or in a national emergency. Well, this might sound very familiar for you. For example, Trump's Executive Order 13848 was ordered under Title 50. And let's take a quick look at that right here. Executive Order 13848 imposing certain sanctions in the event of foreign interference in a United States election. This is from September 12, 2018, and it's pretty long. I will link it down below for you in the video description, but I want to read a couple of parts here. I, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America, find that the ability of persons located in whole or in substantial part outside the United States to interfere in or undermine public confidence in United States elections, including through the unauthorized accessing of election and campaign infrastructure or the covert distribution of propaganda and disinformation, constitutes an unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security and foreign policy of the United States. Although there has been no evidence of a foreign power altering the outcome or vote tabulation in any United States election, foreign powers have historically sought to exploit America's free and open political system. In recent years, the proliferation of digital devices and internet-based communications has created significant vulnerabilities and magnified the scope and intensity of the threat of foreign interference, as illustrated in the 2017 Intelligence Community Assessment. I hereby declare a national emergency to deal with this threat. So like I said, I will leave this down below for you, but this is obviously very relevant. But let's go back to the thread. Anyway, what I think Powell is pointing us towards is that there is a national emergency in place and that Title 50 covert operations are occurring behind the scenes. There's a lot more happening than any of us know, and I would agree. And like I said, both of those things, the U.S. Code Title 50 as well as the executive order, will be linked for you down below. Everyone should listen to Powell's interview with Howie Carr. It is stunning. A few days ago, Powell was referring only to election fraud using tech in Venezuela. Now she is referring to the use of this technology in the 2016 U.S. Democratic primaries, the 2016 election, as well as elections in different countries overseas. Yeah, this could affect multiple elections in multiple countries, and that's a big, big deal. In addition, Powell alleges that there was interference from China, Iran, Serbia, and Liechtenstein in the 2020 election. Not just that. Apart from Trump, Powell specifically IDs John James and Leon Benjamin being targeted. There are 10 million plus fraudulent votes for Biden. She says that the data suggests millions of dead people voted. She has check stubs of people who paid to get others to harvest ballots. She has direct evidence of something called drag and drop, which allows an operator at a computer to make Trump votes disappear. Powell says that the evidence she has is terrifying, and there's more. Powell refers to her evidence, including direct proof of mail-in ballot fraud, multiple entries of the same ballot, pristine ballots, and very interesting indeed, an intercepted call with hundreds of people where a Department of Defense official instructs them, including Bernie Sanders, how to commit sabotage in their offices. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if that is indeed true, we'd like to see that, but that is probably something that is going to be held under wraps if there is indeed an ongoing investigation. But that would be massive. There's apparently evidence of a transcripted call by Dominion's Eric Coomer admitting he had made sure Trump has lost. Oh, Coomer has disappeared. Dominion have closed their offices. Hundreds of their employees are erasing their presence from the web. Yeah, and they're not wanting to speak to the public, especially at a time where their machines are coming under fire. You'd think that they'd want to send a representative out to tell everybody that everything's okay. They're not even doing that. And that suggests to me that there's something really big going on behind the scenes. Powell can't prove it, but she thinks CIA is involved and that Haspel should be fired. And more. The point being that even if half of what Powell is disclosing is true, we are talking about an emerging scandal of historic proportions, easily the worst crime in U.S. history. But as Powell says, it's also a global scandal. This is the best interview Powell has done. She speaks with confidence, is calm, and refers to specific evidence where she can, but you can hear the alarm in her voice. Powell is extremely worried at what she has seen and angry. And like I said, she recently just got booted off of Twitter. She also recently gave an interview over there on Newsmax, and I'm just going to play you a little clip at what she had to say.
You know, I know you say you want to do your arguing in court. You are an attorney. You're not a press secretary, but you all did have a press conference last week. Jordan Sekelo said that there's going to be a filing soon in Georgia that would be explosive. Can you tell us anything? Can you make some news with us here tonight? Tell us anything new that you're going to present in that filing in Georgia.
Well, I can't say that yet, but hopefully this week we will get it ready to file.
Sydney,
and it will be biblical.
Biblical. Well, I believe we've heard that phrase before many times, as a matter of fact, right here on this show. So later on, the Trump legal team came out and made a statement about Sidney Powell, saying that she was not part of the Trump legal team. And I think there were a lot of people that thought they were trying to distance themselves from Sidney Powell and her most recent comments. And I'm not so sure that's the case, although it kind of came off that way. But what I think they were really trying to clarify is that Sidney Powell has her own thing going. And in case you want to donate to her fund, that would be separate of the Trump legal team. And they just wanted to lend her some support, I think, by saying that she had her own identity. And we'll talk about that in just a second, because this is her statement right here. I agree with the campaign statement that I am not a part of the campaign's legal team. I never signed a retainer agreement or sent the president or the campaign a bill for my expenses or fees. My intent has always been to expose all the fraud I could find and let the chips fall where they may, whether it be upon Republicans or Democrats. And we've seen that, haven't we? The evidence I'm compiling is overwhelming that this software tool was used to shift millions of votes from President Trump and other Republican candidates to Biden and other Democrat candidates. We are proceeding to prepare our lawsuit and plan to file it this week. It will be epic. We will not allow this great republic to be stolen by communists from without and within, or our votes altered or manipulated by foreign actors in Hong Kong, Iran, Venezuela, or Serbia, for example, who have neither regard for human life nor the people who are the engine of this exceptional country. Hashtag we the people elected Donald Trump and other Republican candidates to restore the vision of America as a place of life, liberty, and the pursuit of truth. No, I'm just kidding. She said the pursuit of happiness. You may assist this effort by making a non-tax deductible contribution to www.defendingtherepublic.org. Hashtag Kraken on steroids. So there you go. And I think that's what she was really trying to point out. And I think that that was what the Trump legal team was trying to do, was just steer your support this way. So if you do want to support this, and it's a great thing to support, www.defendingtherepublic.org. And if you are still on Twitter or still using hashtags, hashtag Kraken on steroids, just like Jose Canseco was cracking home runs in the 90s on steroids. Now let me leave you with this. This is from Court Dog on Twitter, or maybe it's Court Dog. Something's fishy. Obama changed his profile pic from full color to black and white. The Obama Foundation logo also used to be color, but is now black and white. Hillary's cover photo is also black and white. Michelle's profile pic is also black and white. Bill Clinton's profile is still full color, though. And then she says, "Fucking Oprah." I feel like she might have been trying to say something else. Profile pic, black and white. OMG, of course, Chrissy and The Rock also have black and white profile pics. The Rock's is more sepia, though. These people are all part of this sickening you know what. And then she includes Laura Ingraham. And I believe I also saw Representative Dan Crenshaw turn his profile to black and white. Now, of course, I'm just getting this from aggregates and a lot of you sending them my way because, of course, I am booted from Twitter. But it does appear to be the case. Now, what does it mean? Not really sure. I would note that James Comey, Lisa Page are still in color, John Brennan still in color. Hard to really say. Is this some sort of choice being made out loud? Perhaps if Sidney and the team, Trump and his team, Rudy Giuliani and his team all have their own little krakens cracking, then I imagine there might be a time to decide whether or not it's black or it's white. Who's to really say, but you can let me know what your ideas are down below. I guess the only way to really see how it shakes out is to see how it shakes out and then see what all those accounts would have had in common. But it is very curious indeed, so if you've got some to share, feel free and let me know down below what you think it might mean. But that's all I got for you for now. As always, if you like this video, please click like, share, and subscribe. Especially now, it's greatly appreciated when so many people are having a hard time finding their favorite content creators. Just remember, I'll be still posting here on BitChute. I will be updating with some cool new stuff real soon. I'm still putting it together, but until then, you can find me right here on BitChute. I'm on Gab, I'm on Parler. I don't know, it's linked down below. You know the thing, just do the thing, and that's where the thing will be, where you can do that thing when you're doing it. If you'd like to support my channel, you can support it right here, and that would be greatly appreciated. And yes, I'll be working on updating that as well. But until then, this is what I've got, my P.O. box right here, otherwise known as my PO box. You can come to my PO box. You want to send me a letter, you can send it to the PO box. That's all I got for you. This is Sir Patrick Mack, and until next time, stay funky.